Welcome back. It is Wednesday night. We're back with the Coast to Coast Racing League and CoolRay, hometown heroes. Currently out on the track are the 305 Sprint cars. They're brought to you by Ace Designs tonight. Looks like Dan McLaren's at the top of the board with a 13,682 for Dan. Welcome aboard. If you're new to the stream, welcome. If you're coming back, thanks for coming back. Here at Got Your Six Racing Network, as always, we are racing for awareness of veterans issues. The veteran suicide rate is astronomical, so we're trying to do our small part to lessen that number with our good friends Mission 22. You'll see us playing promos throughout the night. Organizations out there doing great things for veterans. If you are a veteran out there and you're going through some tough times, do not hesitate to reach out. We play those videos just for you to give you some ideas of where you might be able to go. If you know a veteran out there, maybe you haven't heard from them in a while, maybe their whole demeanor has changed, check on them, see how they're doing. Just make sure everything's okay. Would be greatly appreciated. But tonight we're at the back at Lucas Oil Speedway. It is Hometown Heroes. We will be running fixed 305s followed by 360s. 358s and big block mods will follow. And finally, the Mission 22 Veterans Only 360s. If we get enough drivers in the field tonight, that will be our nightcap. We are getting ready to advance to qualifying here momentarily. The 32 car of Anthony Morano is still out on the track, getting some practice laps in. Just got an announcement that Veterans 360 race will not be broadcast tonight. So we will wrap up the night with the 358 and big block mod division. Again, we are getting ready to go qualifying. Anthony Morano still out on the track. McLaren, Grandy, Boyce, Ross, Morano, your top five. In practice, we are getting ready to do some qualifying here. Again, welcome back to the stream. This is CoolRay Hometown Heroes on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Let's see who the first car out on the track. Again, these are the fixed 305s. Looks like Nick Vickery in the 00. Spartan Racing driver is the first one out on the track. 305s take a little while to get around Lucas Oil. Coming up next to 360s, you'll see a drastic change in the pace around the track. Roger Craig is out on track in the 747 machine. Joseph Grandy to the top of the board. The 518's been to the top of the board a lot. Grandy followed by McLaren timing in at P2. 32 car of Morano. He was fifth quick in warm-ups. Let's see how third quick for the 32 machine. The Morano Racing driver. Jeff Barker in the 513 Marine machine. Like to thank Jeff for his service to our country. Currently 10th quick for the 513. Lance Ripka in the 125. Currently 12th quick with a 14.070. Tyler Wilson just coming out on track in the 042 machine. Blake Chapman, second quick, 13.767. In the Krite Sim Racing number 20 machine, we'll go back with Lance Ripka as he ducks off track. 10th quick. Tyler Wilson in the 042 coming for his first time lap. 13th quick. 13.986. Donovan Ross in the 5 machine is back with us. Currently 16th quick, 14.011 for the 5 machine. He is the last car to qualify, so we will be going to heat racing here momentarily. That's where the 5 car will end up. 14th quick with a 13.966. So he gets below that 14 mark. And that will wrap up qualifying. Joseph Grandy with your quick time for tonight in that 518 machine with a 13.761. Blake Chapman, Dan McLaren, Morano, Shreves round out your top 5. Heat 1 on the grid. Jeff Falero, Nick Vickery on the front row, followed by Anthony Morano, Joseph Grandy in row number 2. Jeff Barker, Stephen Bixler round out your field of 6 drivers. They do invert the top 4 from qualifying. Got 6 laps to get it done. Everybody will head to the feature. Jeff Falero looking for that green flag. Restart is on the green flag. Coming off a turn 4. 200 will make that slot. The green flag came out quick. Nick Vickery with a good jump in the 00 on the outside. Vickery will go to the point. 200 car trying to fight back down on that bottom side. 518 of Grandy going with that 00 machine. Grandy all over the rear bumper of Nick. Go on board with the 518 as he tries to reel in your current leader, Spartan Racing's Nicholas Vickery on the point. Jeff Falero falls back to 3rd, followed by Morano in the 32, Stephen Bixler in the 75, Salty Dog Racing member. He's trying to run that high side. Jeff Barker in the 513, currently in P6 up front. Vickery getting it done. Working lap 5 of 6. One lap to go. Vickery, Grandy, Falero, Morano, your top 4. Grandy looking at that bottom side. Can't get it done. They will end that way. Vickery, Grandy, Falero, Morano, your top 4. Heat 2, Tyler Wilson, Patrick Spangler on the front row. Randy Shreves, Blake Chapman in row number 2. Donovan Ross, Gary Taylor round out your field of 6 drivers. It will be Tyler Wilson in the 042 that brings us to the green flag. Tyler Wilson looking for that turn 2. He's got 2 more corners to go around. We saw the green flag come out super early last time. Green flag is out. We are underway. Wilson on the bottom. Good start by that 39 of Patrick Spangler on the high side. 42 is going to try to slide up. Spangler goes way high, gets into that outside wall. Tyler Wilson on the point. Spangler working that bottom side. He's got Blake Chapman in the 20 car on the high side. Shreves is running the high side, currently running in P4. On board with Patrick Spangler. He is the only car working down there. You can see your leader, Tyler Wilson, getting by. Randy Shreves trying to get in the mix in that 56 machine. Spangler stays down low. He's getting a good run off that bottom side. Looks like he doesn't have enough momentum down the front stretch. Coming to the last lap. At the line. Wilson, Chapman, Spangler, Shreves, your top 4. Heat 3 on the grid. Lance Ripka, Pat Boyce on the front row. Brandon Dittmer, Dan McLaren in row number 2. Roger Craig, Gary Siegelcow. Round out your field of 6 drivers. So we've had 3 heat races that every driver showed up so far. We saw that 125 on the pole taking some extra laps during practice. So we'll see if that pays off. Pace truck should exit next time by. Pace truck is off, leaving the field to Lance Ripka in the 125 with Pat Boyce to his outside. Got 2 Spartan drivers on the inside, the 125 of Ripka and the 83 of the 88, my apologies, on the outside of the second row is a Spartan Racing driver. Salty Dogs Roger Craig is the lone Salty Dog in this heat. He's currently running P5. Up front, Pat Boyce with a great start gets on the high side in the Taco Bell machine as Ripka tries to work that bottom side. Everyone to the high side. Doesn't look like the 125 can find space up there. Roger Craig now turns into a slider line. Pat Boyce at the front of the field, followed by McLaren. Take a look at Dan McLaren from his cockpit view as he pulls up alongside the 41. That 88 machine is all over the tail tank of the 41. Down low, no room. They made contact. That will give the 88 the point. He almost makes contact with the 83 now. 83 and 125 bounce off of each other. 1 lap to go. It looks like the race is going to be right here for P3 or 4. Ripka is going to battle it out. The 83 of Dittmer dives down low, too high. Holy smokes, McLaren, Ripka, Boyce, Dittmer are your top four. That was kind of a mess there at the end. We will have 3 minutes of warm up, ladies and gentlemen, so we will be right back.
Our biggest thing is getting the word out, awareness of Mission 22, the struggle as it is to fight PTSD and suicide. My name's Corey Decker. I'm the state representative for Mission 22. This year's been great. We got a bunch of great guys that have gotten together and decided to create this rally. The word's getting out, and it's turning into quite an event where we can actually help a lot of veterans. It's a great event, but you really have to go and see it for yourself, and it's really one of those things that's an experience. That just going that weekend, we've seen how it changes people.
When people hear a Till Valhalla project, the first thing they might think of is our shirts. But what most people don't know is that our plaques came first and the t-shirts came second. What some people might not know is that the same shirts that we make day in and day out allowed us to do unbelievable things for unbelievable people. Whether it's donating our proceeds to reduce veteran suicide or gifting handcrafted memorial plaques to the families of fallen heroes, these t-shirts simply stand for honor and freedom. Two words that wouldn't exist without our heroes. This makes Till Valhalla Project a place where fallen heroes truly live on forever.
Welcome back. Blake Chapman in that 20 machine. Krite Sim Racing at the top of the board with a 14.335, followed by Tyler Wilson, Nick Vickery, Anthony Morano, and Dan McLaren are your five fastest as we're trying to get this track to come in just a little bit, but we're getting ready for the feature race. Nick Vickery, Tyler Wilson on the front row. Dan McLaren, Joseph Grandy in row number 2. Blake Chapman, Lance Ripka in row number 3. Jeff Valero, Patrick Spangler in 4. Pat Boyce, Anthony Morano in row number 5. Randy Shreves and Brandon Dittmer in the, looks like the 6th and final row. Oh, there's got to be more than that. There we go. Steve Bixler, Donovan Ross in 7. Roger Craig, Jeff Barker in 8. Gary Taylor and Gary Siegelkow rounds out your field of 18 drivers. Got 30 laps to get around here, so this is going to be a long race. The 360 sprint cars will pick it up a little bit, but we got 30 laps to go here. It will be Nick Vickery, the winner of heat number 1. That will take us to the green flag. Tyler Wilson to his outside. Watch that 20 car rolling off P5 on the inside of row number 3. Pace truck is off. Vickery looking for that green flag. Green flag is out. We are underway. Vickery with a good jump on the inside. Will we see the slide to the outside? Yes, sir. 00 to the outside and the lead. Dan McLaren in the 88. He's still stuck on that bottom side. We got a pile of cars. We're going to go 3 wide. Yikes. Looks like the 518 of Grandy got shuffled out of that one. Good job by all drivers involved in that. Vickery getting away from the field. These guys are 3 wide once again. Looks like Falero got, what's the... See if we can take a look. I know they were 3 wide back there. There's the 200 car on the high side. He's got the 20 car of Blake Chapman below him. The 88 took a different angle into the corner there. Comes off, makes contact with the 20. A little bit of net code, a little bit of contact. 200 gets shuffled out of P5, I think he was in. Around goes the 200. Nick Vickery at the front of the field, working lap 3 of 30. All sprint car restarts. Our single file will be Nick Vickery, who restarts the field here coming off of turn number 4. Wilson, Grandy, McLaren, Chapman, your top 5. Green flag is out. We're underway. Great start by that 00 machine. Tyler Wilson dives to 042. Gets into the tire down low, and around he goes. Second place driver catches that inside tire. Trying to cut it so close. There is the 042, the aftermath. Let's take a look. Running in second position, trying to possibly set up or run the slider line. The 042 comes in super tight. May have got a little bit of grip right there. You can see that tacky track. Gets into that tire and around he goes. At the front of the field, collects the 20 car. That will move the 042 to the back of the field. Nick Vickery still at the front of the field in that 00 Spartan ride. Working lap 5 of 30, so still have plenty of time to move from the back to the front. It will be Nick Vickery that takes us to the green flag. The 00 Spartan ride is coming off at turn number 4. He is off. The 518 of Grandy, 88 of Dan McLaren are your top 3. Grandy pulling right up on the rear tail tank of Vickery. Good run by the 518. He pulls up alongside Vickery, looking for that lead, and he'll get it. Vickery's going to try. Oh, Vickery into the tire. Trying to make a run. Vickery just got past, trying to make a run. The 518 with a slide job. Makes it past Vickery. Vickery just going down low. Gets square into the tire. Takes out the 88 of McLaren. The 39 of Spengler. The 125 of Ripka. Looks like the 32 got by. And the 41. So that will put Morano up into P2. Grandy inherits the lead in that 518 car, so he will take us to the next green flag. Working lap 7 of 30. Look at that right front tire on that 39 machine. He's going to need... See if we can get Patrick Spengler in here. Yeah, tire's not supposed to be pointing towards that outside wall. See how that affects Patrick as he rolls off P2 behind the 518 of Grandy. Grandy with a great start. Let's take a look at the 39. We'll follow Spengler as he's trying to navigate a wounded race car. Ripka down low with Morano. That was close. Ripka and Morano battling it out. Boys back in the mix in that 41 Taco Bell machine. Looks like Ripka running a bottom line, kind of diamonding the corner a little bit. The 32 car of Morano gets on the outside, trapped behind the 39. As the caution comes back out, that is the 41 Taco Bell machine. Running with Morano up high, Ripka in front of him. 83 car of Dittmer just gets into the side of the 41, sends him around. 83 is able to recover. Up front, 518 of Grandy leading the way. Anthony Morano now in P2. Lance Ripka. I guess it's going to be Ripka, then Morano are your top three. Still only working lap 11 of 30. It's like the 83 car of Brandon Dittmer now. Roger Craig working the bottom side. He's got the 20 car of Blake Chapman with him. This is the battle for P5. Up front, Grandy leading the way. Morano in P2. Lance Ripka. Donovan Ross now settles out in P4. Dittmer has his hands full with the 747 of Roger Craig. Caution comes back out. The captain, Gary Taylor. Looks like the 75 car got turned around. And the 34 got into the back of Steve Bixler. Salty dog on salty dog crime there. Grandy now has a little bit of work to do to get back to the front of the field. He dropped back to P4. They stopped for a car that had spun, and it removed him from the lead, put him in P4, and Anthony Morano in P5. So Lance Ripka with the start, followed by Donovan Ross, Brandon Dittmer are your top three. Donovan Ross on that high side. Ripka in that 125 continues to run the low side. Caution comes back out. Looks like the 75 of Bixler may be involved. Gets into that inside tire. Around Bixler goes. Lance Ripka, top of the field. Followed by Ross, Dittmer, Grandy, Morano. Roger Craig, Donovan Ross up 12 spots from his start in that 5 machine. Lance Ripka will bring us back to the green flag, working lap 18 of 30. Coming off of turn 4, 125 looking for that restart zone. Lance Ripka is off, followed by the 5 car of Donovan Ross. Gets a great restart. So put those two under a blanket early. Joseph Grandy in the 518 trying to work his way back to the front. Caution comes back out once again. Looks like maybe Patrick Spangler was involved. Spangler just gets into the outside wall and goes around all by himself. Working lap 20 of 30. Lance Ripka, followed by Ross, Dittmer, Grandy, and Morano. You can see the track has slickened up almost all the way to the outside fence in the turns. Straightaways still seem to have a little bit of grip. Pace truck is off. Lance Ripka looking for that green flag. Donovan Ross going to try to go with him once again. The 83 of Brandon Dittmer moves up to P3. Grandy able to recover. He's back in P4, followed by Anthony Morano. Those two cars were running 1-2 before an earlier caution flag came out. Ripka is off in the 125, working that bottom side. 5 car. Looks like Dittmer got into the tire on the inside. I will tell you, P3 is not the place to run tonight. That seems to be where all the bad luck is happening. 83 just catches traction. Maybe he didn't expect the car to get grip like that. Gets into that outside tire, and around he goes. Collects Grandy and Morano in the event. So the 518 and the 32, that early caution that moved them back to P5 and 6, I believe, has cost them in the late race here. So now it's Ripka, Ross, Grandy, Roger Craig are your top 4. Grandy works his way back into a podium position. I'm not sure if that car was damaged or not. We will take a look here. .125 of Ripka on the point. Pace truck should exit. There it goes. Heading down the back stretch. Coming off of turn number 4, Ripka looking, Ripka looking for the green flag. Green flag is out. Joseph Grandy, he tried to make a move on Donovan Ross in that 5 machine early. 20 car of Blake Chapman has worked himself back up to P5. He's running alongside Roger Craig in that 747 machine. Donovan Ross running the high line, looking for the lead over Ripka. Looks like the high line was the place to be that time by Ripka, kind of running a middle line there. Good run off the top side by Donovan Ross with 24, working lap 24 of 30. Grandy gets into the back of Ripka. He'll lose P3. Blake Chapman now in the final podium spot. Roger Craig in the top 5. Barker and Shreves and McLaren battling it out. Donovan Ross now getting away from the field. The 125 is about to be under attack from the Krite Sim Racing's Blake Chapman, currently running in P3, working lap 27 of 30. Up front, Donovan Ross. A caution comes out one more time for Gary Sigelkow. In that 25 machine, he swings up high. Comes down and gets into the 200 machine. Couldn't hold on to it. Around he goes. Donovan Ross able to move to the front of the field. Now he's got the 20 car, Blake Chapman, to his rear tail tank, followed by Ripka. Joseph Grandy trying to work himself back into a podium spot. Currently the first car on the outside of a podium looking in P4. Roger Craig in the top 5. Pace truck is off. Donovan Ross looking for the green flag. Restart is on the leader. Working lap 30 of 31. Great start by that 5 car. Let's see if Blake Chapman can close down here. Chapman, Lance Ripka. Battle's going to be for that the third podium spot. Joseph Grandy into 518, battling along. Give Grandy that final podium position as Donovan Ross and Blake Chapman are going to battle for the win here. 1 lap to go. 20 car of Chapman up high, falling in line behind Ross. Ross, Chapman, Grandy are your top 3. We will get a word with your top 3 here. Waiting on Sigelkow to get up into the booth. We'll get a word with him. Or Grandy, I should have said. My apologies. There he is. We will bring in the 518 car of Joseph Grandy. Came up a little bit short. Joe, this is Joe. You got me? Man, I'm doing all right. How are you?
What's going on here?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Man, so walk us through your night. That was kind of a bum deal there. You and Morano were running 1-2. Got moved back in the field there. Walk us through your night. How did you get that 518 up front?
Well, got a little choppy in the beginning there. Got bumped around a little bit, but I'm getting pretty used to this track. Pretty confident on it. I had to stop for that car turn around in that yellow, and for some reason it sent me and Morano back 3 spots. But luckily, I still got in the top 3.
Yeah, man, you fought back on the bottom. Do you think you had anything for the leader, Blake Chapman or Donovan Ross, if you could have got to him?
Oh yeah, for sure. A few more laps maybe, but I think if it wasn't for that yellow, it probably wouldn't smooth sailing for me. But it is what it is.
Yeah, man, it's a podium. I'll take that any day. Who do you want to thank for your podium finish?
I'd like to thank the broadcast, Coast2Coast, and all the sponsors that get this going.
Yeah, man, it's a pleasure to watch. You going to run the 360s?
Yep, I'll do the 360s in the bid block, so hopefully I'll see you 2 more times.
Yeah, man, look forward to it. Great run.
Have a good one, thanks.
You also. Blake Chapman in the 20 machine moves up 3 from his starting position. Blake, this is Joe. You got me?
I got you, Joe.
Man, that was kind of a long one, man. Run us through your night. You moved up 3, which isn't huge for that 20 car, but man, we had a ton of cautions. Walk us through your night in the 20.
Yeah, it kind of got off to a rough start there at the beginning of the feature. We got into some trouble and then had to go and pit and came back out towards the back of the field. And like you said, there was a lot of cautions and it didn't feel like I passed a whole lot of cars, mostly because everybody was wrecking in front of me. So that always helps getting up through the field. And yeah, there towards the end, everybody, Devo especially ran a pretty good race up there. And I feel like I may have been a little bit faster, but it's one thing to catch a guy, another thing to pass him. We run in pretty similar lines, so I don't know if I would have gotten around him given a couple more laps. But yeah, hopefully the 360s, they won't have as many cautions as we did here in the 305s.
Yeah, man. Sometimes that added horsepower can help. It helps you get the power enough to get out of somebody's way, and we saw a lot of that tonight. Another podium for the Krite Sim Racing number 20, Blake Chapman. Who do you want to thank for your podium finish?
Well, my parents and grandparents for watching and supporting. Got to give a shout out to the boys of the Krite Sim Racing team and the Can-Am Racing team. I got to give a shout out to Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. Head over to their website, use code CART, C-A-R-T at checkout for 15% off some of their delicious popcorn. And I got to thank you for putting this broadcast on, Joe.
Yeah, man. See you in the 360s.
See you there, bud.
All right, man. The 5 car of Donovan Ross moves up 13 positions from his start. Donovan, this is Joe. You got me?
Yes, sir. How we doing, buddy?
Man, you know what? That was a long night in the 305s there, but tell us how you got through all that mayhem in the back.
Well, they kind of did the work for me, I guess. They just kind of either crashing or having issues, so just kept the nose wing on her and the front wheels on it and eased our way up there.
I was waiting for a duh moment. I didn't run into him. Duh. And man, you moved up. You got the lead. You did not relinquish it, driving that 5 car into victory lane. Who do you want to thank for your victory?
I would just thank you guys for the league and the broadcast. It's always entertaining and enjoyable to run with everybody here. So yeah, go up to the 360s and try that out.
Yeah, man, I'm hoping that higher horsepower maybe lessens the caution somehow. I'm hopeful. So we'll see you up there, man. Who knows? Maybe we'll talk again. Great run by you, and we'll see you in the 360s.
All right, thanks, Joe.
All right, man. Have a good night. So you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There are the 305s. We will take a quick break, and when we come back, we will be back with the 360 sprint cars. A little higher horsepower. Let's hope that's
goal at any given race is, of course, to win. And CrowdStrike, AWS, and DXDT were fortunate to achieve championship-winning results in 2020. We're extremely proud to be partnering with Operation Motorsport through our racing initiatives. Their program seeks to place military veterans in various positions inside a real racing team. The experience aids in their retraining, recovery, and rehabilitation.
So my name is Chad Failing. I'm a staff sergeant retired out of the United States Army. I am with Kevin Boehm under DXDT. You're getting creative. You're getting taught to think outside of the box.
We couldn't be more proud to be affiliated with this great program. In the spirit of giving back to the community and creating meaningful opportunities, we are committed to building a diverse motorsports platform with the amazing men and women who have served our country.
They say it's a matter of time, 1,000 days and the sun won't shine before I come back to you. For your love I will go far, I wanna be wherever you are. I know I'm coming back for you.
Brother, it's good to see you.
My love is a river long, the best ride in a million wrongs. I know I'm coming back to you. And I'm happy, nothing's going to stop me. And I'm happy, nothing's going to stop me. I'm making my way home. I'm making my way.
Welcome back. We are back with the 360 sprint cars. We're getting ready to go qualifying. We are in practice. Bob the Good at the top of the board with a 12.671. The 5 car of Donovan Ross coming back out on the track. We saw him take home the victory in the 305 sprint cars. We're moving up in horsepower a little bit here, so we'll see how Donovan Ross and crew does. We do have about 2 minutes until the green flag drops over qualifying. We are still in a practice session. Again, this is CoolRay, Hometown Heroes on the Coast2Coast Racing Network. .305 Sprint Cars brought to you by Salty Dogs Race Team. Again, thank you all for tuning in. Donovan Ross, good enough for 15th quick in warm-ups. Again, Bob the Good with a 12.671. Like to thank Bob the Good for his service to our country in the United States Air Force. .513 is back with us. That's Jeff Barker, the Marine Corps. Gary Taylor, the Captain Gary Taylor, who is a firefighter. We should be advancing any moment as practice has ended here at Lucas Oil Speedway. Donovan Ross wraps up his practice. See who comes out first. That is the end of practice. We are getting ready to go. Qualifying in the fixed 360 sprint cars, brought to you by the Salty Dogs race team on the CoolRay Hometown Heroes Coast2Coast Racing Network. See who comes out on the track first. It looks like we do have the 7 car. Oh, it'll be the 181 of Jeffrey Kemper, the driver out of Oregon, is first out on the track. These are fixed 360 sprint cars, so a little bit more horsepower than what we saw last race. See how Jeffrey Kemper does in that 181. Everybody out on track. Gary Taylor in the 34 out on track. The 377 of Dustin Sargent. It is Bob DeGood at the top of the board with a 12.839 for Bob DeGood. So he's at the top of the board. Lance Ripka, 7th quick. Donovan Ross in that 5 car. He bring it home 7th quick, so he takes over that position. Dustin Sargent had that pole for a second. Randy Shreves in the 56 machine. We'll put it on the pole with a 12.791. We still have quite a few cars out on the track. The 20 car of Blake Chapman. He has not taken the time lap yet. He's at the top of the board with a 12.774 for the Krite Sim Racing number 20 of Blake Chapman. That moves Shreves down. Kevin Fry in that 21 machine, currently 12th quick with a 12.922. Looks like Kevin Fry will be the last go. We got a couple more. Brandon Dittmer in the 83 machine is out on track. 4th quick, 12.807 for that 83 machine. Brian Dickens just coming out on track in that 122 machine. Blake Chapman at the top of the board with a 12.717. Dickens in that 122. The dirt track bank ride. Coming off of turn number 4, looking for a good timed lap. 8th quick for Dickens. Austin Marlette is the only car that has not taken a lap. Dickens still out on track. Will his second lap be quicker? Yes, sir. Up to 5th quick for Brian Dickens in the 122. Looks like the 999 will not take laps, I suppose. So Blake Chapman at the top of the board with a 12.717, followed by Randy Shreves, Joseph Grandy, Brandon Dittmer, and Brian Dickens are your top 5 qualifiers so far. Got 23 cars in the field tonight. We're getting ready to go heat racing, ladies and gentlemen. Heat 1 is on the grid. Dan McLaren, Bob DeGood on the front row of heat number 1. Brandon Dittmer, Blake Chapman in row number 2. Donovan Ross, Jeff Falero in row number 3. Jeff Sharp, Gary Siegelkow in row number 4. Top 4 were inverted from qualifying. That means your fastest qualifier is the 20 car of Blake Chapman on the outside of the 2nd row. We're still waiting for Jeff Falero to grid. There he is. Race called for 8. We got all 8 on the grid. Restart, or the start is on green. It will be Dan McLaren, the driver out of Canada, that brings us to the green flag. Coming off of turn number 4, Dan McLaren's going to be looking for that green flag with Bob DeGood to his outside. Green flag is out. We are underway. Watch that 20 car on the outside of row number 2. That is Blake Chapman in the Krite Sim Racing. Makes contact with Bob DeGood. That will give Dan McLaren a little head start. We're getting wadded up in the back of the field. It is the 20 car that is stuck down low. '20 car and the 7 of Bob DeGood. Bob DeGood fell back one position. Dan McLaren started on the pole, and he's still running at the front of the field. That's Donovan Ross, the winner of the 305 sprint cars. He's currently in P5. Everyone getting nose to tail now as McLaren set sail up front in that Spartan Racing 88 machine. Dittmer and Blake Chapman trying that bottom line. That bottom line will start to come in here, probably late feature. 1 lap to go. Dan McLaren at the front of the field in that 88 machine. He's got 2 more corners to navigate. Looks like he will get through them just fine. McLaren, Dittmer, Chapman, DeGood, Ross, Falero. That was a battle between Ross and Falero at the end. Heat 2, we find Anthony Morano and Patrick Spangler on the front row. Brian Dickens, Randy Shreves in row number 2. Kevin Fry, Jeffrey Kemper in row number 3. Pat Boyce and Austin Marlette round out your field of 8 drivers. Waiting on the 888. He will not grid, so it will be up front. The 32 car of Anthony Morano that will bring us to the green flag. Again, they do invert the top 4, so Randy Shreves on the outside of row number 2 in the 56 is your fast qualifier in this group. Patrick Spangler in the 39 car to his outside. Pace truck has exited. Anthony Morano looking for that green flag going down the backstretch. We'll come through 3 and 4, and we will be underway. Coming off of turn 4. Green flag is out. We are underway. Morano with Patrick Spangler to his outside. Looks like that top side is working for the 39. Randy Shreves trying to follow the 39 to the front. Yeah, it's that 32 is stuck down low. Dickens now, he pushes his way to the front. The 83 car goes off the track. I think it was maybe the 181 of Jeff Kemper. Patrick Spangler at the front of the field. Now Shreves changing up his line. Randy Shreves wants a lead. He's going to go to the bottom. 32 of Anthony Morano is the first car on the outside of the front. Looking in, they settle it out. They get back nose to tail. Working lap 4 of 6. 360 sprint cars get around this track a lot quicker than the 305s, that's for sure. Brian Dickens in 4. Kevin Fry in P number 5. Pat Boyce in that 41 machine. is in P6. 1 lap to go. Spangler, Shreves at the front of the field, followed by Morano, Dickens, and Fry. Coming off a turn 4, 39, got a little bit high. He will hold on for the win. Spangler, Shreves, Morano, Dickens, Fry, your top 5. Heat 3, Roger Craig, Jeff Barker on the front row. Dustin Sargent, Joseph Grandy in row number 2. Lance Ripka, Gary Taylor in 3. Stephen Bixler rounds out your field of 7 drivers. Roger Craig will roll off on the pole in the 747. Excuse me. Fresh off a fishing vacation, came back for hometown heroes here in that 747. He's got the 513 Marine machine to his outside. That is Jeff Barker. 6 laps to get it done. Everybody heading to the feature. Again, they do invert the top 4 so that Joseph Grandy in the 518, the yellow, light blue, and pink car, is your quickest qualifier. Great start by the 747. Will Roger Craig battle to get to that outside? We're going to go 3 wide. We're bouncing off each other. Barker is able to make it through, as is Grandy. Dustin Sargent moves back to P4. We are side by side in the back of the field. 34 and the 75 go into the tires, so they're done for the heat race. 513 of Barker's going to battle it out with the 747 of Roger Craig on lap 3 of 6. Looks like the high side is the place to be. Now Grandy, he is going to follow the 513 past the 747. Barker got a little high that time. That may open the door for Grandy. That top doesn't drop off, but it gets super flat up there. Grandy is able to make the pass on lap 5 of 6. 518 at the front of the field, followed by Barker, Craig, Sargent, and Lance Ripka. 1 lap to go. 2 corners to navigate for the 518. Coming off of turn number 4. Grandy, Roger Craig got up into the outside there a little bit. He will bring it home P3. Grandy, Barker, Craig, Ripka. We will have 3 minutes of warm-up, so we will be right back.
Mission 22 is founded on the timeless principle that America's warriors are equally valuable overseas as they are within our borders. We are unwaveringly committed to the journey back home and understand the barriers our heroes face when making the often arduous and taken for granted transition home. Trauma is an opportunity. While bleeding, hidden pains of the past can never be removed. We can transform them into something brand new and beautiful. We can grow through trauma to become our community's cornerstone, the safest neighbor on the block, the strongest leader in the office, the most caring volunteer at the elementary school. The Recovery and Resiliency Program is a year-long, and it uses everything from cutting-edge biometric tools to science-backed supplements. This is a catalyst to take the deep scars suffered for our nation's sake and turn them into opportunities to direct our God-given purpose and energies as protectors toward a refreshed and meaningful life. By committing to this year-long program, you will be happier, stronger, and wiser. Your PTS and/or TBI may not leave you, but you will be more comfortable in your own skin, and your suffering will begin to have meaning. Our goal is to give warriors one thing, the truth. Let's take responsibility for our healing.
Mission 22 is dedicated to unite the country in the war against veteran suicide. Bringing our veterans home is every American's job. Ambassadors are creating impact in their community across the country. Mission 22 has comprehensive treatment programs for post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injury at no cost to veterans. This is an American issue. No matter where you stand, there's a place for your support. Visit mission22.com to learn more. Mission.
Welcome back. We are still in warm-ups. Lance Ripka at the top of the board. In the 125 machine, followed by Donovan Ross. We saw those two at the front of the field in the 305 race. We're getting ready to go feature racing. It will be 30 laps in the 305 fixed sprint car division. Dan McLaren, Patrick Spangler on the front row. Joseph Grandy, Brandon Dittmer in row number 2. Randy Shreves, Jeff Barker in row number 3. Blake Chapman, Anthony Morano in 4. Roger Craig and Bob DeGood in row number 5. Brian Dickens, Lance Ripka in row number 6. Donovan Ross, Kevin Fry in 7. Dustin Sargent, Jeff Valero in 8. Pat Boyce, Stephen Bixler in 9. Jeff Sharp, Jeffrey Kemper in row number 10. Gary Taylor, Gary Siegelkow in row number 11, and Austin Marlette round out your field of 23 drivers. We saw the 88 run at the front of the field in the 305 sprint cars. He ran into some late bad luck, as did the 39, so some of the same characters at the front of the field. You got the 83 of Brandon Dittmer, the 518 of Grandy, Shreves is up there. All these guys were in the mix in the 305s until all the cautions started coming out. So we will see how 360 sprint cars fare here. Start is on green. Dan McLaren looking for that green flag as he comes off of turn number 4. We are underway. Great start by your front two, side by side. McLaren into the tire on the bottom of lap number 1. Your leader starts off in a horrible fashion. Was leading the race again. That same tire, we saw it collect quite a few drivers in the 305 race also. So that turn 1 and 2, that third tire in, that is kind of tricky apparently. Patrick Spangler inherits the lead in that 39 machine. Joseph Grandy in P2. Dittmer, Shreves, Barker are your top 5. Pace truck is off. We're getting ready to go green. Patrick Spangler at the front of the field. Coming off of turn number 4, 39 car looking for the green flag. He is underway. Great start by Spangler. Joseph Grandy drops back to P2. Dittmer working the high side. Shreves and Blake Chapman both working that lower side. Shreves now running the middle, slides up high. Don't look now, but the 32 car of Anthony Morano is back in the mix. He's been in the mix all night in that 32 machine. We went on board, did not see Sherry tonight in the sprint car. Sherry, if you tuned in, thanks for supporting your husband and Coast to Coast Racing Network. Up front, Patrick Spangler leading the way into 39. Patrick has gone down low. It is Brandon Dittmer in the 83 car who's trying to run the very top shelf here. Working lap 5 of 30. Blake Chapman also working the bottom, so it looks like Dittmer is the only car that's running that high outside. Go on board with Dittmer. As you see everybody else down low, looks like lap traffic's going to come into play. That's the 25, the red car in front of you. I think iRacing absolutely got it right with Lucas Oil Speedway. What a fun place to run. Dittmer stays up high. Oh, the 518. Not sure what happened to Grandy. I think Grandy got into the tire on the bottom, up 1 and 2, just like we have seen all night. Let's take a look. Same tire. Here it comes. Collects the 518 who spins around. The 20 gets by. The 83 gets by. The 56 does not fare so well, nor does the 32. Let's take a look at the ride the 56 took. Just got tagged from out of nowhere. Over he goes. Patrick Spangler at the front of the field, coming off of turn number 4, looking for the green flag. The start is underway. Spangler and Grandy is able to continue in that 518 machine. Not sure if that car is damaged or not. 83 car of Dittmer continues to run the high side. Working lap 11 of 30. Got another caution that came out for Jeff Valero. Valero in the 200 car. Running the middle lane. The 777 comes up, turns the 200. Everyone else great driving, able to miss that incident. Replays brought to you by Malcolm's Mills Mill Riding. Patrick Spangler, Grandy Chapman, Dittmer, Morano are your top 5. We saw Morano get involved with that last incident. Let's take a look at the 32 car and see if we see any damage. Looks like that front bumper bar is a little bit bent in. Looks like the tires are all straight, so on he goes. Restart will be on the 39 car. Pace truck is off. Great start by the 39. Joseph Grandy in P2. Grandy, Chapman, and Spangler working the bottom side. Dittmer in the 83 car has committed to that outside. He is going to run up there, gets over the edge a little bit. Now it is Grandy and Chapman battling it out. The 20 car gets by on the inside. Blake Chapman in the 20 car takes over the lead. Patrick Spangler in P2, Brandon Dittmer in P3. They're working lap traffic, Sigel Cow and the 34, the captain Gary Taylor, the top 3 clear. Working lap 21 of 30. Blake Chapman gets in the front of the field. That spells bad news typically for the rest of the field. As Spangler and Dittmer battle it out, we saw the 39 car of Spangler go over on the flat spot there at the top. See if he can hold it down this time, and he will. Over rotates a little bit. That will give P2 to the 83 of Brandon Dittmer. He's chasing the 20 car. As the yellow flag comes back out, it is the 32 car of Morano. As he goes down. Gary Taylor sliding up. Looks like the 32 over rotates, and those two make contact. Blake Chapman at the front of the field in that 20 machine, working lap 23 of 30. Blake Chapman trying to move up from his, can't remember if he finished P3 or 4 in the 305 sprint cars. Working lap 24 of 30, Chapman, Dittmer, Spangler, your top three. Grandy and McLaren. Roger Craig having a great night, back up in the top six in that 747. Maybe we all need to take a fishing break. That will get our minds right, back in the game. 747 running P6 up 3 positions. Blake Chapman up 6. Working lap 27 of 30. Blake Chapman holding the lead. Dittmer switches to the top side. He goes over the ledge, as does the 39. That won't help them. There is zero drive once you go over that top ledge. Blake Chapman continues to work the bottom. 25 gets out of the leader's way. Chapman, Dittmer, Spangler. Will Dittmer get that top side to work? We only have one lap to go. The youngster from Krite Sim Racing, Blake Chapman, currently at the front of the field. He has 2 more corners to get through. Patrick Spangler throws it in deep. It's going to be Chapman, Dittmer, and Spangler, your top 3. We will get a word with them here momentarily. As those 3 head to the podium for their podium shot. We will catch a word with those gentlemen here momentarily. Looking for Patrick Spangler, who is in the booth. Patrick, this is Joe. You got me?
Yep, gotcha.
Yeah, man, good run. 360's a little bit more stout here at Lucas Oil. Run us through your, you started on the outside of pole. Run us through your night.
Yeah, got the lucky invert there, starting second in the heat. That's where you want to start because it's top side in the heat race, and then was heat 2, so I had the perfect starting spot of outside feature pole there if I had just won, and I did. So I was running out there and just going to hold the bottom. Blake's real good at it here. And then I just got to try different lines because you really have to be focused for the bottom. Just wasn't too focused today and trying different things out.
Yeah, man. So typically, all you fast guys run that high side, but Lucas Oil here, it seems like the bottom side becomes very dominant late in a race. The 83 car of Brandon Dittmer was the only car still running on that outside. Can you run the outside here at Lucas Oil late in a race?
Not in the sprint cars. In the modifieds and late models, it's a lot more racier, but especially 360s, 410s, it's all about the exit and just being as slow as you can be in the attack there. So you just got to stay low and avoid the tires.
Yeah, man, we've seen plenty of people hit that tire tonight. So great run, man. Who do you want to thank for your podium?
Got your 6 Racing Network for putting this on. Roger for running the league. Train Wheels Racing and Brandon running good finish too. Finished second. Mom or dad and uncle back home watching, and wife here watching.
And that's awesome. We gonna see you run the mods?
Nah, I think I'm done for the night.
All right, man. Have a great night.
Thanks, you too.
Yes, sir. Brandon Dittmer in the 83 machine. He moves up 2 from his start. Brandon, this is Joe. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, first, I love the paint scheme. I got to say, I absolutely love that paint scheme, man. We I try to highlight you every week, but great run by the 83 tonight. You came home, you moved up 2 from your start. Man, you were the only car that stuck to that outside. Did you think you had something up there, or everyone else was down low? What was your thought process there?
Yeah, you can't play follow the leader and expect to try and win something. You got to go where they aren't. Yeah, it was very treacherous up there, but just keep a hammer down, keep it pitched, and she was fast up there. Just you had to keep her on the track.
Yeah, I noticed a couple times you went over that top onto the flat there and kind of killed your momentum, man. But you were hitting that top line almost perfect. It worked good enough for a P2 on the podium, man. So great run by the 83. Who do you want to thank for your podium finish?
You for the broadcast. Always love going back watching these things. Coast to Coast Racing League for the league. I run this league 3 times a week. I absolutely love everybody I race against. Training Wheels Racing, Tyler Wilson and Patrick Spangler for bringing me on at the end of last season. They've been great people to work with. Velocity Race Designs, Ross Carena for the scheme. He did a great job on it. I don't think I got anything else.
Man, that's good enough. You gonna run the mods?
I do have to admin it, but I don't know if I'll run it. I don't like these cars too much.
All right, great run, man. Way to finish up the night if you don't run in the mods. So I'd quit with a second place, and I'd be happy with that, man. Great run by you, my friend.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Yeah, man, you too. 20 car, Blake Chapman moves up 6 from his starting position. Blake, this is Joe. You got me?
Go.
All right, man. How'd you work the magic?
Just hugging the bottom there, Joe, and staying away from those tires. You know, I saw a couple guys tonight get into the tires, and that ruins your night, I'll tell you. And sometimes it feels like they move those tires around on you. But just staying out of the tires and trying to hug the bottom as well as I could, and felt pretty good down there all night.
Yeah, I wish we had a tire count. You don't even know how many cars hit those tires. That seemed to be the common theme. I was talking to Spangler a little bit. I'm used to you fast guys running that high side, but it seems like it goes away here at Lucas Oil. Detmer stuck with it pretty long on the high side, but once that goes away, man, it seems like the bottom, if you can pause a little bit longer than you think you should at the exit of turn 4, that drive off is sometimes absolutely amazing, man. So do you ever think about going to the top, or is the bottom the place to be in a 360 sprint car?
I have yet to be passed on the high side when I'm running the bottom in the 360s at this track, so I'll definitely stick to the bottom for sure, which is, like you said, it's different compared to all the rest of the tracks. It seems like you got to be up on the cushion when it gets slick, but here so far it's just been hold the bottom as well as you can and get off that gas and try and find the moisture at the exit and hit it and go, and it's worked out pretty well for me so far.
Yeah, man, I absolutely love this track. So great run by you, my friend. Once again, who would you like to thank for your drive to victory lane?
Well, once again, I got to thank my parents and grandparents for watching and supporting, all the boys down at the Kreitz Sim racing team and the Can-Am racing team, and Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. Head over to their website, use code CART, C-A-R-T at checkout, 15% off some of their really delicious popcorn. I think I still have a bag at my house to eat tonight. I could probably finish that bag off tonight after to celebrate a win. And I got to thank you for putting this broadcast on, Joe.
Yeah, man. Are you going to run the mods?
Not tonight. I'll end it on a win tonight.
I would too, man. Have a great rest of the week if I don't talk to you, and hopefully we see you next week.
Thanks. Take care, Joe.
Yeah, man, you too. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There are the 360 sprint cars. We're moving over to the big block mods and the 358 or big block. The drivers get to pick which one they want to run. So we will be right back.
History repeats itself. History is always happening over and over again. So one of the ways to stop a theme, one of the ways to stop something from reoccurring is to first of all admit it. It didn't take long for us to quickly realize that There was power behind Mission 22, power behind its brand, power behind its message, and power behind its people that represented it.
All right, my friends, day 19 of 22, the 22-day push-up challenge. Day 19 means 418 men and women have possibly committed suicide in the last 19 days. I went and looked up my ship, the USS Rushmore. More people who have killed themselves by now than ever served on our ship at one time in just 19 days.
19, 20, 21. One more. Y'all ready for the last one?
Yeah, Mission 22 has become a decentralized nationwide effort to show love, to raise money, to be available for other warriors, to be able to be a point of contact, to let the warriors know, but also for warriors to let other warriors know that there is a community. You're not alone. This isn't happening in silence. You're not forgotten. You know, we brought 4 veterans from all different parts of the United States and brought them together to hike through the state of Oregon.
May God bless you on your journey. Thank you for serving our country and for being willing to go on this walk. I'm praying you feel peace and strength with each mile.
You know, on this hike, some folks found God, some folks remained sober, some folks lost a significant amount of weight to be able to participate. And not so much just a healing walk for us as warriors, but for us to contribute to other people's healing. You know, this hike, we raised $12,000 for endobiogeny. Some of the folks on this hike, you know, they're going to be volunteers for this treatment. And I couldn't be more pleased and more proud because it was difficult. We had a lot of struggles. Not everything on this hike went pretty, you know, but we put some skin in the game. At the end of the day, we were able to raise money and we'll be able to use that money so guys can get the treatment that they need. The War at Home Monument is an example of our social impact, of our awareness, of our permanent fixture to do the work that we can't always do, to always remind us of what we've lost and what we will lose if we don't reconcile it. What we've done is taken 20 different veterans with their families' permission and used them as a silhouette to cut out of a 3,000-pound plate of steel. These warriors are placed in a V, and this is to show the size of the problem. This is to show the empty space they leave behind. And it's also to be a constant reminder of what happens when we don't listen to the stories of the warriors that fought in our name. Because it's not okay. It's not okay that everyone didn't know about veteran suicide. It's not okay that these things were a secret or left unsaid, or that it was shameful. It's not okay that it's shameful to suffer alone and suffer in silence, because if you ask for help, that you're no longer a warrior, that you're weak.
Yeah. So I come back and I thought everybody else changed. So I pushed my family away. And it took a long time to really realize it because I didn't want to look internally. You know, I got my Class A CDL and hit the road. I was on the road for about 8 years trucking. And this makes me think about how insignificant all of the major things going on are. I mean, what, 1 million years ago, that blew up. And, you know, over time became this.
Whether it's hiking mountains or building monuments, it takes a community to heal a warrior. Warriors didn't get damaged and didn't become separated from the sunlight of the spirit on their own. It happened in the name of this nation. We can change the way we think about war, how we think about warriors, how we think about ourselves, and what we think we're going to do in the American community. We can do it now. We can do it here. And there's going to be another generation of warriors coming. We can set the tone to create a culture that grabs them up and loves them and smothers them in resources, in opportunity, right now. History repeats itself. History is always happening over and over again. So one of the ways to stop a theme, one of the ways to stop something from reoccurring is to first of all admit it. It didn't take long for us to quickly realize that there was power behind Mission 22, power behind its brand, power behind its message, and power behind its people that represented it.
All right, my friends, day 19 of 22, the 22-day push-up challenge. Day 19 means 418 men and women have possibly committed suicide in the last 19 days. I went and looked up my ship, the USS Rushmore. More people who have killed themselves by now than ever served on our ship at one time in just 19 days.
19, 20, 21. One more. Y'all ready for the last one?
Mission 22 has become a decentralized nationwide effort to show love, to raise money, to be available for other warriors, to be able to be a point of contact, to let the warriors know, but also for warriors to let other warriors know that there is a community. You're not alone. This isn't happening in silence. You're not forgotten. We brought 4 veterans from all different parts of the United States and brought them together to hike through the state of Oregon.
May God bless you on your journey. Thank you for serving our country and for being willing to go on this walk. I'm praying you feel peace and strength with each mile.
On this hike, some folks found God, some folks remained sober, some folks lost a significant amount of weight to be able to participate. And not so much just a healing walk for us as warriors, but for us to contribute to other people's healing. This hike, we raised $12,000 for endobiogeny. Some of the folks on this hike, they're going to be volunteers for this treatment. And I couldn't be more pleased and more proud because it was difficult. We had a lot of struggles. Not everything on this hike went pretty, but we put some skin in the game. At the end of the day, we were able to raise money and we'll be able to use that money so guys can get the treatment that they need. The War at Home Monument is an example of our social impact, of our awareness, of our permanent fixture to do the work that we can't always do, to always remind us of what we've lost and what we will lose if we don't reconcile it. What we've done is taken 20 different veterans with their families' permission and used them as a silhouette to cut out of a 3,000-pound plate of steel. These warriors are placed in a V, and this is to show the size of the problem. This is to show the empty space they leave behind. And it's also to be a constant reminder of what happens when we don't listen to the stories of the warriors that fought in our name. Because it's not okay. It's not.
The goal at any given race is, of course, to win. And CrowdStrike, AWS, and DXDT were fortunate to achieve championship-winning results in 2020. We're extremely proud to be partnering with Operation Motorsport through our racing initiatives. Their program seeks to place military veterans in various positions inside a real racing team. The experience aids in their retraining, recovery, and rehabilitation.
So my name is Chad Failing. I'm a Staff Sergeant retired out of the United States Army. I am with Kevin Boehm under DXDT. You're getting creative. You're getting taught to think outside of the box.
We couldn't be more proud to be affiliated with this great program. In the spirit of giving back to the community and creating meaningful opportunities, we're committed to building a diverse motorsports platform with the amazing men and women who have served our country.
Welcome back for your nightcap. The 358 and Big Block mods right back here at Lucas Oil Speedway. Kurt Schatzer, Brandon Templeton, Grandy Vitale, Jeff Sharp are your 5 fast so far in practice. We're getting ready to advance to qualifying. Again, this is CoolRay Hometown Heroes, the 358/Big Block mods, brought to you by Magnum Race Designs. Brian does some great work, car wraps, flyers, logos, whatever you need. Check out Magnum Race Designs. We are coming to you live on a number of different channels. Coast2Coast Racing Network, got your 6 Racing Network on YouTube. Got Your Six Racing Network on Facebook, and we are on Got Your Six Racing Network, our GY6RN on Twitch. It is Brandon Templeton is the first car out on the track in that 31 dirt track bank ride. We'll follow along with the 31. He was second quick in the practice session. Carrying that left front through the corners. Brandon Templeton 15.065. Anthony Morano in the 32 machine. Bob the Good up to P2, 15.130. Let's see how the 32 car times in. Third quick, 15.180. Lance Ripka back with us in the 125. Coming off a turn 4. Eighth quick for Lance Ripka. Dan McLaren in the 88 car's been with us all night. 218 of Kurt Schatzer, fourth quick. Brian Lawson, that is the owner-operator of Magnum Race Designs in that 9 machine. The Venom Racing crew. Second quick, 15.081. Can Brian improve and take over the quick time for tonight? We're about to find out. A little bit slower on his second lap, so Brandon Templeton holding on to your quick time. Jeff Sharp in the 28 machine out on track, currently 6th quick. Moves up to P4 with a 15.121. That will end qualifying as Dan McLaren in the 88 machine will qualify in at 13th quick with the 15.372. So it looks like Brandon Templeton, the driver out of Corning, Iowa, will get your quick time for the 358/Big Block mods here at Lucas Oil Speedway with a 15.121. Brian Lawson, Joseph Grandy, Jeff Sharp, Bob the Good round out your top 5. We're getting ready to go heat racing. Anthony Morano, Bob the Good on the front row of heat number 1, followed by Joseph Grandy, Brandon Templeton with your quick time. In row number 2, Randy Shreves, Lance Ripka. In row number 3, Dan McLaren, Gary Siegelcow round out your field of 8 drivers. It will be the 32 car of Anthony Morano. We'll roll off on that front row. Let's take a look if Sherry is on board. There she is. Sherry is Anthony's wife who tunes in each week to watch Anthony do what he does. Sherry, thank you very much for supporting your husband as he chases this crazy dream known as iRacing. It will be Morano with Bob the Good. Bob the Good, like to thank Bob the Good for his service to our country and the United States Air Force in that 7 car. Green flag is out. We are underway. These cars are a handful to operate under slow speed. We are getting off. We are 2 by 2. Looks like the top 4 under a blanket. Bob the Good on the outside. It will be Morano who holds the inside position. Brandon Templeton thought about sticking his nose in there. Templeton gets into an accident. Over goes the 31. Meanwhile, the 32 of Morano is up front, followed by DeGood, Joseph Grandy. Now Randy Shreve's running in P4. 6 laps to get it done. Morano leading the way. Grandy looking underneath that 7 car of Bob DeGood. Morano still at the front of the field. Bob DeGood in P2. Top 3. Morano, DeGood, Grandy pulling away from the field. Bob DeGood getting a little bit tight there. That's how they will finish. Morano, DeGood, Grandy, Shreves, McLaren, your top 5. Heat 2, Michael Vitale, Kurt Schatzer on the front row. Jeff Sharp, Brian Lawson in row number 2. Jeff Barker, Jeffrey Kemper in row number 3. Brandon Dittmer rounds out your field of 7 drivers. 213 of Michael Vitale on the front row. Prior U.S. Air Force member. Michael, thank you for your service to your nation, my friend. Kurt Schatzer in the dirt track bank. Number 18 or 218 to his outside. And the 8 car, Venom Racing's Brian Lawson. Starting on the outside of row number 2. Again, they do invert the top 4. So Brian Lawson, your quick qualifier. Got 6 laps to get it done. Everybody is heading to the feature. Restart will be on Vitale in that 213 as he comes off of turn number 4. Looking for the green flag. 6 laps to get it done. Green flag is out. We are underway. 213 car down low. Kurt Schatzer in the 218 up high. Somebody hit the tire back there. Looks like Brandon Dittmer in the 83. Kurt Schatzer battling it out with Vitale up front. The 9 car of Brian Lawson on the outside. Jeff Sharp in that 28 is battling on the inside. We are 2 by 2 at the front as they started. That is about the way they paced the opening lap. Schatzer up high. Vitale down low. You got to think that Sharp and Lawson are waiting for one of the top 2 to make a mistake. Working lap 5 of 6. Schatzer with the advantage at the line. They are side by side. 1 to go. Schatzer and Vitale have 2 more corners to navigate. Looks like Schatzer with a slight advantage. Running that high side, coming to the line. It is the 218 of Kurt Schatzer. Vitale, Sharp, Lawson. Great heat race by these drivers. We will have 3 minutes of warm up, so we will be right back.
Our biggest thing is getting the word out, awareness of Mission 22, the struggle as it is to fight PTSD and suicide. My name is Corey Decker. I'm the state representative for Mission 22. The issue has been great. We got a bunch of great guys that have gotten together and decided to create this rally. The word's getting out, and it's turned into quite an event where we can actually help a lot of veterans. It's a great event, but you really have to go and see it for yourself, and it's really one of those things that's an experience. Just going that weekend, we've seen how it changes people.
When people hear a Till Valhalla project, the first thing they might think of is our shirts. But what most people don't know is that our plaques came first and the t-shirts came second. What some people might not know is that the same shirts that we make day in and day out allowed us to do unbelievable things for unbelievable people. Whether it's donating our proceeds to reduce veteran suicide or gifting handcrafted memorial plaques to the families of fallen heroes, these t-shirts simply stand for honor and freedom. Two words that wouldn't exist without our heroes. This makes Till Valhalla Project a place where fallen heroes truly live on forever.
Welcome back. We are just finishing up warm-ups. Joseph Grandy at the top of the board with a 15,300 in the 518 machine. Followed by Kurt Schatzer, Brandon Templeton, Brian Lawson. Looking for a great feature race. It's going to be 30 laps. Anthony Morano, Kurt Schatzer on the front row. Bob the Good, Michael Vitale in row number 2. Joseph Grandy and Jeff Sharp are in row number 3. Randy Shrees, Brian Lawson in 4, Dan McLaren, Jeff Barker in 5, Lance Ripka, Jeffrey Kemper in row number 6, Gary Siegelcow, Brandon Dittmer in row number 7, and Brandon Templeton will roll off in P15. So Anthony Morano will roll off on that front row. Again, 30 laps to get it done. Pace truck is off. It will be Morano. The start is on the green flag. It will be the 32. Morano Racing driver Anthony Morano. He's got his teammate on the outside of row number 2. Coming off of turn number 4. Green flag is out. We are underway. 30 laps to go for your nightcap of Hometown Heroes. Murano with a good run on that bottom side. 218 of Schatzer is able. Caution comes back out. Hoping we wouldn't catch the caution bug, but it appears that the 9 car of Brian Lawson running in the front of the field ran into some issues here. Looks like Randy Shreves, just the tires made contact. These cars, you can't make any contact or else that is the result. Pace truck is off. Anthony Murano will lead the start here. Coming down the backstretch, Kurt Schatzer in P2. Followed by DeGood. Top 7 have not moved from their starting positions. It's like Brandon Templeton was involved in an incident. 83 car of Detmer back there. Ripka gets involved. Nowhere for that 31 to go. Brandon Templeton with an incident in his heat race. Had to start at the back of the field. Murano led from the drop of the green flag, started from the pole, got Kurt Schatzer to his rear bumper. Pace truck is off. Go on board with Kurt Schatzer for this restart and see what your leader is doing. These cars are a handful under slow speeds. Looks like the caution came out. Not sure who was involved. Let's take a look. Looks like Dan McLaren was involved in that 88 machine. Templeton, again, the tires just touch, and McLaren loses control, collects the 9 car of Brian Lawson. Kurt Schatzer still at the front of the field in that 218 car, able to make the pass on the 32 of Anthony Morano. Working lap 11 of 30. Schatzer, Morano, DeGood, Vitali, Sharp. Pace truck is off. Michael Vitali challenging the 7 car of DeGood. Vitali down low in the 213. Bob DeGood on that high side. Jeff Sharp currently in the top 5. He's got Joseph Grandy in the 518 breathing down his neck. Schatzer opening up a little bit of a lead over the 32 of Morano. Bob DeGood able to make the pass on the 213. That was close. Michael Vitali slides up, giving P4 over to the 28 car. Kurt Schatzer opens up over a second lead over the 32 car. Now Bob DeGood coming in the picture as the caution comes back out once again. The 9 car of Brian Lawson. You can see the slinky effect up there. The 518 of Grandy gets into the outside wall. Everyone checks up. The 181 of Kemper gets loose into that inside tire. He will collect. Lawson almost made it by. Kurt Schatzer up front in the 218 machine, leading the way. He's up 1 from his start. Schatzer and Morano started on the front row. Pace truck is off. Working lap 15 of 30. 14 of 30, my apologies. Schatzer and Anthony Morano down low. Bob DeGood. Now Michael Vitali's going to battle back into 213. He's giving that bottom side a good run. Side by side with the 28 at the line. The 213 gets into the 7. Just came in a little bit too hot. Either the 7 checked up or the 213 came in a little fast. Collects the 56, the 513 of Barker. Brandon Templeton. Quite a few cars involved. Kurt Schatzer still at the front of the field in that 218 machine. Working lap 17 of 30. Kurt Schatzer with a great start. 32 car of Anthony Morano in tow. Schatzer continues to run the high side as Morano is trying the bottom. We saw in the sprint cars the bottom was a place to be, but we also heard one of the leaders talk about the modifieds, that maybe that top was the place to be. We got a wad of cars back here. Bob DeGood, the 28 of Jeff Sharp, 518 of Joseph Grandy, and the 83 of Brandon Dittmer has battled his way back. .518 gets into the side of the 7. The good able to hold on. Kurt Schatzer up front currently opens up over a second gap between himself and the 32. Schatzer working the high side as Morano works the bottom. Jeff Sharp, Joseph Grandy battling it out. That's the 28 and the 518. 513 of Jeff Barker. We've seen that 513 work the bottom like nobody's business in the past. Looks like Lance Ripka may have been involved in an incident. .218 still at the front of the field. Working lap 23 up 30. Watch that 518. We've seen him sneak onto the podium. Jeff Sharp currently in the final podium position in that 28 machine. Morano gets a great start, goes right with the 218. Schatzer doesn't run quite as high in 1 and 2 as he has been. Gets a good run off of 4. Anthony Morano continues to run that bottom side. Jeff Sharp and Grandy battling it out for that final podium position. That's the 518. And caution comes back out. 88 of Dan McLaren involved. Once you get over that ledge up top, it gets super flat. And that's what happened to that 88 machine, working lap 24 of 25. Pace truck is off. Looking for a long green flag run to end this one. This is week 4, Hometown Heroes at Lucas Oil Speedway. Brought to you by CoolRay Heating and Air. Great start by the 18. He tries the bottom in 1 and 2. I expect the 218 to go up and high in 3 and 4, and he does as Morano continues on the bottom side. Jeff Sharp running the middle. Grandy's still looking for that podium position. Good drive off the bottom side by the 518. He got a launch off the bottom. He's able to move up into P3 and right on the rear bumper of the 32. Grandy will switch to the top side. Yes, Schatzer opens up a second gap between himself and the 32 of Morano. Jeff Sharp, Joseph Grandy battling it out. Sharp in the 28. He's able to take that podium position back. Working lap 28 of 30. Kurt Schatzer setting sail. 32 car looks like he's searching for grip. He's gone from the bottom to the top. '28 car of Jeff Sharp. He's looking for P2. He pulls alongside the 32 car with 1 to go. Now Morano moves back down to the bottom. Schatzer loves to see this up front in the 218. He's pulling away from the field. 2 more quarters to go. He gets off of 4. The battle is back here. Morano and Sharp will be your top 3. Great finish. We will get a word with your top 3 here momentarily. We will wait for your top 3 to get up to the broadcast booth. We'll get a word with Jeff Sharp, Anthony Morano, and Kurt Schatzer. Waiting on Jeff Sharp to come into the waiting room for the broadcast. There he is. 28 car of Jeff Sharp moves up 3 from his start. Jeff, this is Joe. You got me?
Yes, sir. How are you, Joe?
Man, I'm well. That was pretty fun to watch in that 28 car. You kind of hung around the front all night. Walk us through your night.
Trying to figure out which line to use. The bottom seemed better at the end. It's hard to pass, though.
Yeah, this track kind of gets that way. Late race seems like the bottom comes in. You had Kurt Schatzer running the high side. You had the 32 car of Morano. running the low side. You were able to hold off the 518 for another great run, man. You had a pretty decent night, all in all. Do you think you could have got by the 32, or if you did something different?
I wanted to try the middle for a while, but I knew Grandy was right behind me, and I kind of wanted to keep what I had.
Yeah, great run by that 28 machine, man. Who do you want to thank for your podium finish?
Just Coast to Coast, broadcast, you, Joe, everybody that runs it.
Yeah, man, great run for you. Can't wait. I'll hopefully be on the track next week. So great run by that 28 machine. Congratulations on your podium finish.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. 32 car of Anthony Morano falls back one from the start in that 32 machine. Anthony, this is Joe. You got me?
Hey, buddy, how's it going?
Man, it's going well. Not as good as you finishing up on the podium in that 32. Walk us through your night. What was your strategy coming in, and did it play out as you thought it would?
I've pretty much been getting lucky on this one. I think I definitely was nowhere near as fast as a lot of the other guys out there, but I think there was just track position. Got the best bet on that one.
Yeah, you kind of stuck to that bottom side while Schatzer was running the top side. Did you ever think to go up high, or were you committed to the bottom?
I tried the top a few times and like in practice and in warm-ups and even in the heat race, and just I didn't feel as comfortable up there, so I tried to stay down low, and I pinched down on the 28 car a few times there at the end, the last few laps, but I know if I slide up, I'm not going to be able to get back down there. So Jeff didn't mean to cut it off, but it's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, man. The Murano Racing Team with another podium. I'm sure Sherry is smiling tonight, and I appreciate the GY6RN on board that 32 machine. Who do you want to thank for your podium finish?
I gotta thank Billy Roberts at Gears Unlimited, Mike Vitale, my teammate, always helped me out with everything. Of course, my wife Sherry, W Energy, Dean Reynolds at Super Dirt Car, everybody back at Murano Racing, JT Screen Printing, JS Photography, Joe, of course, you, Natra, Flieger Farm Paint Shop, everybody that helps me out.
Yeah, man, great run. Hopefully we see you tomorrow night.
One can only hope.
Have a great night.
All right, Joe. Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir. The 218 of Kurt Schatzer starts on the outside of row number 1 in the beginning. Kurt, this is Joe. You got me?
Yeah, I hear you, Joe.
Man, great run. The 218 stayed up high all night. The bottom side did that ever tempt you? You did run the bottom a couple times in 1 and 2. Did the bottom side ever tempt you, or were they going to have to get by you?
I don't know. That's a hard one. I mean, I like the high side. I like running it hard up there. Yeah. There's a few times early in the race I wanted to go low, but I knew I had to get up high early to get around if I wanted to get the lead, and it was working for me. So I just kind of stuck it up there and hung with it.
Yeah, man. Once that 218 gets out front, it's hard to pass. Checking out on the field there in the dirt track bank number 218. My teammate, Kurt Schatzer, I got to thank you for all your support. Kurt Schatzer and I have been together for a few years now. It seems like yesterday, but man, I got to personally thank you for all that you do for the Hammer Down Race Team in that 218 machine. It was a pleasure to watch tonight. Who do you want to thank for your drive to victory lane in the 218?
Well, like you said, I got to thank the team, Hammer Down Racing, Brandon Templeton, Brian Dickens, you there, everybody on the team, man. You guys are all fun to hang out with and talk back and forth with while we're racing. Actually, Brandon was the one that told me on the chat there that the top was working the whole way around, so I kind of wanted to stay with it. Our sponsors, Dirt Track Bank, they do awesome job to help racing around the country, and Got Your Six Racing Network and VMR Wraps. Roger Preston giving us a place to race, and everybody that sponsors the league.
Yeah, man, congratulations. Another victory for the Dirt Track Bank. Greatly appreciated, man. Hopefully we see you run tomorrow night as you're trying to protect that that pro late model championship here. So looking forward to that, man. Great run by the 218, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, man. That is the 218 of Kurt Schatzer, and that is your night, week 4, CoolRay Hometown Heroes on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in, and we will be back on the air. Got Your Six Racing Network will be tomorrow and Friday. So, again, would like to thank you all for tuning in, and until next time, we'll see you.